Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. Today we have week 4 of the BHDL3 Draft League, and that is going to be against Emeraldminer. So, we are quite familiar with Emeraldminer. This is actually our 4th encounter here on Scarlet and Violet, and so this guy is a very strong competitive battler. He is a seasoned Draft League participant. As well, he is a PokeTuber. So, we're going to go ahead and get the battle on its way here and see what he has in store for us here. There we go. And so, let's see. Alright, so he brought the Lucario. He's got the Cryogonal. He's got the Drifblim. He's got the Mew. He's got the Tinglu. And he's got the Gouging Fire. Okay, so I was not expecting to see the Cryogonal, so I am surprised that he brought that. Other than that, everything else is kind of as expected, so the only question is, what are we going to do about it? I did kind of have a plan going in here, and that plan was to lead the Ninetales if I did not see the Reverum. So I think we're going to stay true to that plan. Seeing the Cryogonal, I don't think changes that math. Yeah, I am a little surprised he didn't bring the Reverum, as it is one of his Terra Captains, so the only one he does have on deck is the Lucario. But yeah, we'll try the Ninetales lead, and we'll go ahead and see how that works out for us. Hopefully we can make it happen here against this guy. I expect it's going to be an uphill battle for us. But yeah, we're just going to try to do our best and see what happens here. Hopefully we can make it happen. So, he is going to go ahead and lead with the Mew, kind of as expected, as I lead with the Ninetales. So, we're going to go ahead and get the snow warning to make it snow right away. Now, the bad thing about this is that Mew can be literally anything. So, Mew has, you know, it can do everything, basically. So, the problem here is we don't really know what to predict from this Mew. Now, if he does have speed investment, he will outspeed us, which I imagine he probably does, so I'm assuming he's probably going to outspeed us here. I kind of want to go for my Aurora Veil, but at the same time, that's super obvious, so he could counter that if he's got something in store for me. So this is going to be a tough choice right out of the gate here. We could just go for Blizzard for damage. I kind of want to do that. Because I'm not sure what he's going to want to do. So we are just going to Blizzard right out of the gate here. We do outspeed him, actually. We go Blizzard, which takes him down by a little less than half as he goes Nasty Plot. So he's actually Nasty Plot Mew, but he's actually slower than us, which is interesting. So Nasty Plot, and we don't see any type of item pop as well. So he's Nasty Plot on the Mew, which is obviously problematic. The Blizzard did a little less than half, so if we Blizzard him again, that'll put him down within, down into the red, but it will not kill him, which is bad news. Now the question is, this thing will probably more than likely have some type of fire coverage. I feel like Ninetales is too important to die here, so I feel like we have to try and switch, and I feel like Arcanine might be the switch here. As much as I don't want to do that, I don't really want to leave Ninetales in here right now. That seems like a bad idea. Yeah, we gotta do Arcanine, I think. We gotta do Arcanine. Let's do Arcanine here. Because I feel like he goes for potentially a fire move, trying to catch the Scissor coming in. So we're going to switch to Arcanine. We'll get the Intimidate to cut his physical attack, which doesn't really matter. As he is going to Flamethrower. Okay, so we get the prediction. Doesn't do a ton of damage even at +2, which is great. And so, yeah, he's got Flamethrower. We should make a note of that. So that's good to note. So I think we have to make the safe play here. He does have the resist in the form of the Lucario, but I think he'd be pretty hesitant to just switch that in willy-nilly on an Arcanine. even though the extreme speed might be a little obvious. In a way, I kind of want a Terra to ensure the kill, but at the same time, I don't want to blow my Terra this early. So I think we might just try to extreme speed. I don't think we Terra here. I think we have to save that in the back pocket for later. Yeah, let's extreme speed, no Terra. So he stays in, we go extreme speed. It's not quite enough to get the KO with the Life Orb recoil damage. He goes for a Psy Shot. Can we take it? No, we can't take it. We should have Terra'd there. So we lose our Canine and we go down to 5. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. We could have Terra'd. It would have taken the Mew out. But I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to use my Terra, so we lose our Canine, so that's unfortunate. We know we outspeed this thing, so we can pretty safely come in with Ninetales, though. That's going to be a hard one to try and overcome, but we'll come in with Ninetales. I feel like we have to just Blizzard here. Let's see here. We have 2 more turns of Snow left. I feel like we have to just Blizzard. We know we outspeed, so we're just going to click Blizzard here. He actually does go for the switch. Okay, so what does he switch in? It is going to be the Cryogonal. So that thing's coming in. We go for a Blizzard on it. Doesn't do much damage. And now I think our best possible play is to... I think we Encore. I don't know... Or not Encore, I'm sorry. We Aurora Veil here. I think that's our play. Yeah, we want to get the Aurora Veil up, so we're going to do that. He actually outspeeds us, goes for a Chilling Water, does a little bit of chip damage and cuts our physical attack, which is no big deal. We go for the Aurora Veil in return, which is going to go ahead and give us a physical and special defense increase for 8 turns as the snow does stop. So he's got on the Cryogonal, he's got Chilling Water, which is good to note. I think in this situation, we could stay in and just start Moonblasting this thing. We don't have the best of switches, and this thing probably can't hit Ninetales for much, especially behind the Aurora Veil. So let's just start firing off Moonblasts and see what happens. He is just going to Flash Cannon this time, though, and we do survive it, fortunately, as we go for the Moonblast here. Not going to do enough damage, though. Knocks him down to about 50%. We definitely have to get out now, that's for sure. That was kind of, I guess, an unnecessary shot that we took on Ninetales there that we might have not had to take, but yeah, that's not good. So he's got Flash Cannon. So I think what we do here is we switch to the Rotom. I think that's our play. We probably should have done that last time, but we do switch to the Rotom here. That's definitely our play. So we go for Rotom. He could have Freeze Dry, that's a possibility, but he does go for the Flash Cannon instead. So this looks to be a purely offensive Cryogonal here. The Flash Cannon does nothing to us because it's X4 resisted and behind the Aurora Veil. We still have a lot of turns of Aurora Veil left, though, which is good. Now, I feel like this thing could potentially be a Salt Vest, so I think what we do, I think we try to take him out with a Hydro Pump here. I think that's our play because he doesn't really have a switch to Hydro Pump. If he predicts the electric attack and tries to come in with the Ting Lu, we could catch him with that. So I think Hydro Pump is our play, so we're going to do that. He could stay in and Freeze Dry, that's possible. He does stay in and Freeze Dry. How well do we take it? Pretty well behind the Aurora Veil. We go for the Hydro Pump. We do connect. Is it enough? Yes, with a critical hit. It does take the Cryogonal out and knock him down to 5 Pokemon. I don't know if the crit mattered there. I don't think it did because we were max special attack choice specs on the Rotom here. So I really don't think that mattered. But now he's going to go ahead and come in with the Ting Lu, interestingly enough. And he has the Vesper of Ruin to cut our special attack. Now, I'm not 100% sure why he would do this because we just saw Hydro Pump. So maybe he's banking on the Hydro Pump miss. The Vessel of Ruin does cut our special attack, but at the same time, I feel like Hydro Pump does a lot of damage to this thing anyway. So I kind of want to go for it. I don't know what Ting Lu really could do to me in return, so I kind of just want to Hydro Pump him. So we'll just Hydro Pump and see what happens. We do outspeed, we go Hydro Pump, we do connect. How much damage is it going to do? almost gets the kill, knocks him into the red, but he does survive. He goes for the Stealth Rock in return, which is a little unfortunate. It gets the entry hazard up on us, which is a problem, and then he does get some HP back with the leftovers. So on the Ting Lu, he is leftovers and Stealth Rock, which is good to note. I feel like we could try to Hydro Pump him again. It obviously takes him out from that range, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to do that because he could easily switch. Now, the thing is, he doesn't really have a switch into the Hydro Pump, but we could miss the Hydro Pump, and I feel like we certainly could miss the Hydro Pump. And I kind of want to get those rocks off the board. He probably just continues to Hazard stack here. So let's switch in. Let's switch into Scissor here. Yeah, let's switch into Scissor. We want to kind of save the Rotom for later. So we're going to switch into Scissor and see what he wants to do. So there's the Scissor. We do take the Stealth Rock damage as he does go for a Spike, so he's going to continue to Hazard stack unless we do something about it. So Spikes come in. That's obviously unfortunate. We do get some HP back with the leftovers, which is nice. And I think he's going to get some HP back with those. So this is probably just a purely hazard stacking Ting Lu. So with 2 hazards up, I think it's certainly worth defogging at this point. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I don't think this thing really gets anything for Scissor. We're still behind the Aurora Veil, so let's defog. Let's get the hazards away. I think we outspeed, although I'm not sure. I think the speeds of these Pokemon are pretty comparable. But I think defog is the best play here. So that's what we're going to do. We'll see what he wants to do. He could switch to try to save this thing, because if we attack him, it'll surely take him out with like a bug attack, and he does in fact switch. So we'll see what he wants to bring in on the Scissor here. It is going to be the Gouging Fire, which is kind of what I was afraid of. So Gouging Fire comes in. We go for the defog. It is going to get rid of all the hazards, which is positive. However, now Gouging Fire is in on us, and that is a huge problem. We did not see an item. We get some HP back with the leftovers. So we're in an awful situation right now for one reason, because this Gouging Fire could easily try to set up on us right now. And if it does, we're going to be in serious trouble. We do still have the Aurora Veil up, I believe. How long is the Aurora Veil good for? We have 1 turn of the Aurora Veil left. So if this thing is choice, it could surely attack us with a fire move and take us out. This is going to be a really clutch decision right now. Man, this is bad. This is definitely a bad situation to be in. We gotta... I don't think we're about out of time. Alright. Let's knock off. Let's knock off. See what he wants to do. We gotta get damage on this thing. He does go for the Dragon Dance. Okay, so as awful as that is, he goes ahead and gets the attack and speed increase, which is problematic. We do go for the knockoff. Does a little bit of chip damage, not much, and gets rid of this thing's leftovers as our Aurora Veil ends. So that's actually really bad. That's actually really bad. Okay. Yeah, so that's actually really bad. Yeah, that's really bad. So with the Dragon Dance up, that is bad. That's bad. Okay. He probably just Dragon Dances again here, as unfortunate as that is, because that thing, with as little damage as that took, that looks to be a pretty maximally defensive Gouging Fire there. I think we might be in trouble here. Let's switch. We have to switch, I think. Let's switch to Ninetales. Let's switch to Ninetales. We're going to switch to Ninetales here. He probably just straight up attacks. He could Dragon Dance again, knowing that there's not a lot the Scissor can do. But we come in with the Ninetales. We get the Snow Warning to make it snow again. He does Dragon Claw. Okay, so we actually do get a prediction there, which is good. And we get a free switch because he Dragon Clawed trying to predict the Goodra coming in. So that's good. So now we're in another situation. because we gotta make note of that stuff, because this thing should be outspeeding us now, but we obviously can't do anything about it. As much as I would like to try and get the Aurora Veil up again, I think that's what I'm going to try to do. I mean, he could obviously Dragon Dance again, but I don't think there's any way we outspeed him here. I don't think there's any way we outspeed him here. But let's go for, you know what, we'll try to, I don't know, we're in a bad position right now. Let's try to, maybe he gets greedy and goes for another Dragon Dance, so let's try to Encore him here. Yeah, he just goes for a Heat Crash, so there was no way out of that situation. So he Heat Crashes, takes out the Ninetales, drops us down to 4. So we're in a bad situation right now. How do we want to play this? So we really have 2 choices and only 2 choices in this situation. One is that we come in with Goodra and we hope we can survive a plus. I feel like we take a +1 attack from this thing, no matter what, if we Terra. So I feel like that's our best plan, because I don't think Rotom survives a +1 attack, and I don't think Sneasler outspeeds, unfortunately. So I think our only plan here is to go into Goodra. And our only plan at this point is really just to Terrasilize. Now, we are Terra Ghost this week, so pretty much everything he goes for is going to be neutral. So from full HP with max HP investment, I'm pretty confident we can take at least 1 attack from this thing, and we have to just go for the Draco Meteor and hope that we connect with the Draco Meteor. So that's all we can do right now. So that's exactly what we're going to do. He actually goes for the switch, trying to bait the Terra, so that's a pretty smart play on his part, and he switches into Ting Lu as fodder, essentially. So that's a super smart play on his part. He gets the Vessel of Ruin. It does bait our Terra, so we're going to go ahead and Terrasilize the Goodra, and we're going to Terrasilize ourselves into a Ghost type here, so we let the cat out of the bag early. So Terra Ghost Goodra is here. At this point, I actually kind of hope we miss the Draco Meteor. We go for the Draco Meteor. We do connect, though. It does get rid of the Ting Lu, knocking him down to 4, so that's positive for us. So the Ting Lu goes down, which is nice. We do take a harsh special attack drop with the Goodra, which is definitely not good. And we also kind of let the cat out of the bag with Terra Ghost Goodra, so we kind of have that on deck to deal with the Lucario, which is still a factor. But that's positive, as now he's going to go ahead and come in with the Mew. So what can the Mew do to us is the question. We almost know this Mew's full set. It's Nasty Plot, Flamethrower, Psyshock. Not sure what the last move could be here. I kind of want to switch out, and in fact I think I might. Now the problem here is I really want to switch into the Sneasler. I want to get a free switch into the Sneasler, but that is practically suicide if he goes for a Psychic move, obviously. I feel like he might have a Dark move, and I feel like that might be why he brought the Mew in. His last move might be like Dark Pulse or something. This is a tough one. Switching to the Sneasler is a god-awful risk, but I feel like we might just have to do it. Scissor's also a god-awful risk. Man, we're out of time. Let's do Scissor. Let's just hope he doesn't go for the Flamethrower. He tried that last time and we didn't fall for it, so hopefully we can get away with it this time. We switch into the Scissor. What does he do? He goes Psyshock. Okay, so thank God we made the right prediction there, because that could have been devastating. So he Psyshocks the Scissor, doesn't do much of anything. We get some HP back with the leftovers. Now, we're in an awful situation once again here, because we know the Mew has Flamethrower. We're just like out of the, we're like out of the frying pan and into the fire here, folks. So we know the Mew obviously has Flamethrower. So he does one of two things here, I think. He either switches to the back to the Gouging Fire, or he Flamethrowers to take us out. I think those are his two options. So I think what we have to do here, knowing that, I think we have to make a risk, and I think we double switch into Sneasler, because I don't think there's any way he goes Psyshock here. So, you know what, as risky as it might be, we're going to do it. We're going to hope. He does switch out. Okay, so that's actually exactly what we want to see. And he does switch into the Drifblim, interestingly enough. So he comes in with the Drifblim. We're going to go ahead and get out of there with the Scissor as we switch into our Sneasler. So that's good. So the snow's over. That doesn't really matter. We know for a fact, so we are choice banned on this Sneasler, but we know for a fact that the Throat Chop is not enough. We know for a fact it's not enough to one-shot this Drifblim because it's very bulky. He's also got Gouging Fire, Mew, and of course Lucario. So I think our play here is to 100% U-turn. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and U-turn on this thing. We get a little bit of chip damage on the U-turn, not much of anything. We do take Rocky Helmet damage, which is good to note. And we do get the pivot. So the Drifblim has Rocky Helmet. I feel like we only have one choice here, and that's to go into the Rotom, I think. We can't really switch into Goodra because we've Terra'd Ghost, so we're going to be weak to a Ghost attack, so we have to go into Rotom. That's our only play. So we're going to go into Rotom here, and he goes for a Will-O-Wisp, so that's kind of fine. He does connect with that to burn the Rotom. It's going to be some residual chip damage on the Rotom, but that's kind of fine. We do take some damage from the burn there, which leaves us at about 50% health. Now, the good thing is, at this point, we can very freely click Volt Switch because his ground type is gone, and with Choice Specs Volt Switch, I think that's enough to one-shot this thing unless it's maximally specially defensive. So, just want to make note that he has Will-O-Wisp on there. Yeah, Choice Specs Volt Switch is 100% our play here. He actually does go for the switch, so that's kind of fine. We're going to get a Choice Specs Volt Switch on something. It's going to be the Mew, so he's going to sack the Mew off here, which is another smart play on his part. But it is very good to get rid of the Mew, so we get the Choice Specs Volt Switch, obviously knocks the Mew out and knocks him down to 3 Pokemon. So that's perfect. So now we have to decide what to bring in. I think we definitely go Sneasler here, because we obviously can't do the Scissor because that baits in the Gouging Fire, and that's going to be a huge problem. We could do the Goodra, but that just baits the Drifblim back in. So I think, I mean, this probably baits the Drifblim back in as well too, but yeah, I mean, we do either Goodra or Sneasler. Which one do we want, Goodra or Sneasler in this situation? We might actually want Goodra because the Sneasler... I think we might want Goodra because if we go Sneasler, it baits the Drifblim back in, and then I don't know that we really win that exchange. Tough choice. Yeah, let's do Goodra. Let's go Goodra. Yeah, the only bad thing about KOing him with a pivot move there is that obviously we have to show first, which means that now he can choose a matchup accordingly to face the Goodra. I feel like it'll probably be the Drifblim, because Gouging Fire, I'm pretty sure we can survive a neutral attack. And no, it's going to be the Lucario, actually, interestingly enough. So the Lucario comes in. So this is an interesting situation because I feel like, obviously, this is his Terra Captain. He could be packing a Dark move. That's very possible. I feel like we have to bait the Terra here, but then again, if he goes Swords Dance and we don't get any chip damage on this thing, we're going to be in serious trouble. I feel like we can't switch. I feel like we actually have to stay in here. This could be bad, but we do have the immunity to both the normal and the fighting, so I'm not sure what he's planning on doing here. He could obviously have a Dark move. I don't want a Flamethrower, because he's probably going to Terra out of being Steel. Yeah, I feel like we have to Flamethrower. Yeah, let's Flamethrower, because I don't want to drop the special attack. So he is going to go ahead and bust out the Terra. We could have baited this, but we'll see what he wants to do. What does he Terra into? It is Terra Steel. Okay, so that's actually okay for us. But it is Terra Steel, so what does he go for? What does he have? He's got Bullet Punch, so he goes for Terra Boosted Bullet Punch. How much damage does that do to Goodra? That does almost 50%, which means, okay, he's Life Orb, so he takes some Life Orb damage. We go Flamethrower. How much damage can that do? Not enough to take him out. He survives with like 1 HP. He survives with like 1 HP. That is really unfortunate. Okay, so we know the Lucario's got Life Orb. The only good news about this, and Bullet Punch, the only good news about this is we know that the next attack he goes for takes him out with the Life Orb. So the question is, who do we want to absorb that attack? Now, oh man, this is tough. I kind of want to save Goodra, because I feel like it might... I really don't want to take this attack with Goodra. But at the same time, I feel like he could predict the Scissor coming in and go for something else. And the Scissor coming in just kind of baits the Gouging Fire back in. I feel like we have to stay in here. We have to stay in. We have to stay in. We'll click Flamethrower. Damn, he does go for the Bullet Punch. So we could have got Scissor back in. That's going to nearly KO the Goodra. It takes us down to the red, but we do survive. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough HP there to go for the substitute, which is really what I wanted to do. But we didn't have enough HP, unfortunately. So obviously we go Flamethrower, doesn't touch anything. So Lucario takes itself out with the recoil damage and drops him down to 2 Pokemon. So that is something. So we get some HP back with the leftovers. He's got 2 Pokemon left. He's got the Gouging Fire, and he's got the Drifblim. So the question is, what does he come in with? It is going to be the Gouging Fire. So Gouging Fire comes in here. Now, we 100% cannot switch right now. So he probably takes us out, but at the same time, we have to just Draco. There's no thought process. We have to Draco. He does go for the Dragon Claw and take us out, but there was no way we could risk that. There was no way we could risk that. So he takes us out with the Dragon Claw and the Goodra, knocks us down to 3, but there was no way we could risk that. So now we have a choice to make. Do we come in... It obviously can't be the Scissor. That's 1,000,000%. So do we come in with the... with the Sneasler or the Rotom? I feel like... I feel like we go Sneasler here. I feel like we go Sneasler here. I feel like we go Sneasler. So we're going to go Sneasler. So, because we need Rotom. I think we need Rotom. Okay, so we know for 100% that we outspeed this thing. So the question that we have right now is, I'm pretty sure that based on how bulky this thing appears to be, based on how much damage he took earlier, I think the only way we KO this thing is with a close combat, but I kind of want to split the difference and go for Dire Claw, even though he probably just switches out. But if he doesn't switch out, the problem is if we go for Dire Claw and it doesn't KO, if we go for close combat and he switches out, that's problematic, obviously. I feel like he switches out here. I feel like he switches out here. Let's U-turn. I feel like he switches out. He does stay in. He stays in. He stays in, but we get the Poison Touch. So we get the Poison Touch, which is actually huge. So we U-turn, it does minimal chip damage, but we get the Poison Touch. So that's actually pretty big. So what does he go for? We don't know his final move. We know he has Dragon Claw and Heat Crash. What's his final move? What's his final move? We should have close combated. Does he go Earthquake, and can we get in with Rotom? That's the question. Or does he Dragon Dance? I feel like we have to go into Rotom to keep the pressure up. I feel like we have to go into Rotom to keep the pressure up, as much as I don't want to. Let's go into Rotom. I feel like we have to go into Rotom to keep the pressure up, because we can't give him an opportunity to Dragon Dance. Hopefully he doesn't Dragon Dance here. We go Rotom. He does Dragon Dance. That might have just cost us there. I think he might have got us. Yeah, we might be in serious trouble now. So he takes some poison damage. And we take some burn damage. I don't think we can take a +1 attack with Rotom. I really don't think we can take a +1 attack with Rotom. We shouldn't have over-predicted that move, I think. Oh, man, this is bad. This is tough. This is tough. I feel like we don't take an attack from this thing. I mean, his last move could be a healing move, which would be really bad. Let's try to trick this thing at Choice Spec. I don't even know what item this is. I don't think we found out what item this is. I don't think we take an attack, but whatever. I guess we could try to Hydro Pump him. He probably... If he's got a healing move, he goes for it now. Let's try to trick him. He goes for the Dragon Claw. Can we take it? No, we can't take it from that range. That was a moot point. So Rotom goes down. We go down to 2 Pokemon, so that's bad. He takes more damage from the poison. So this is bad. This is really bad. So after the Dragon Dance, he definitely outspeeds us. After the Dragon Dance, he outspeeds us. This is tough. I think we only have one chance of winning this game right now. We only have one chance to win this game, and that is we go into the. We're gonna go into the Sneasler, and basically we have to just sack Sneasler here. I doubt he switches, but we're just gonna Throat Chop. I'm sure he outspeeds us. He actually does switch. He predicts that we're Scarf, and he switches. Holy shit. He switches into the Drifblim, and we catch him with a Throat Chop. Choice Band knocks him down to a 1/4 HP. We get the Poison Touch to poison the Drifblim as well. That is insane. We take the Rocky Helmet, but that doesn't matter. He takes some poison damage. He does survive, but it doesn't matter at this point, folks, because we just click Throat Chop. We just keep clicking Throat Chop here. Choice Band takes out the Drifblim, so over-predicting on his side, or predicting the Scarf. We take a bunch of damage from the Rocky Helmet, Aftermath, the whole 9 yards, but it's not enough to take the Sneasler out, as the Throat Chop knocks him down to 1 Pokemon. His last Pokemon is going to be the Gouging Fire, and there's no reason for us to not just Throat Chop again here. This is incredible. We know we outspeed. Choice Band Throat Chop comes in, takes out the Gouging Fire, and that is game, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. So we win that one 2-0 against Emeraldminer. What an incredible turn of events at the end of that game. We over-predicted, put ourselves behind the 8 ball. He over-predicted, reversed it, and Sneasler comes through. Choice Band Sneasler comes through with the win at the end. What a crazy turn of events that was. I'm going to need a minute after that one. Jeez, that was intense. What a crazy turn of events at the end of that one, folks. But that's crazy. But I am over the moon right now with that chain of events right there. So I'm guessing that he thought that we were Scarf on the Sneasler, and that led to his downfall, because I'm pretty sure at +1 that would have taken him out, or he would have outsped and taken us out at +1. But with that, Sneasler comes through, and we win the game 2-0 against Emeraldminer. Wow, that's a crazy one. That was a very, very hard-fought game, ladies and gentlemen. But with that, I am super ecstatic about this. With that, the Philadelphia Pidgeys now advance to a 4-0 record here in the BHDL3. That is just crazy, crazy turn of events there. But absolutely awesome for us. So, but as usual, I will reserve my full thoughts until the weekly recap and preview video next time. So, but until then, thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So, that's it, and we'll see you next time.